from the Corsair Cup Finals. In the bottom left. It is the American hero, possibly the best Protoss outside of Korea, and sometimes the best Protoss in Korea. It is from Team Tank, Neeb. Okay. And in the top right. Love him or hate him, you gotta respect him. From ESG. And Euronics? I think it's called Euronics Esports, or something like that. Nerchio. Now we're in a PvZ. PvZ has been an interesting matchup as we've gotten into the new balance patch with the new year. And a lot of Protoss players have issues with it. Protoss statistically has had issues, but at the top level, Protosses have been winning in the smaller tournaments we've seen thus far, so not too much to read into it. And if there's a Protoss who defines how Protoss is played, Neeb is on that list. He's on the short list. Might include Neeb, Hero, Stats, Zest, maybe Trap on a good day, maybe Classic on an amazing day, maybe SOS never. Nobody would ever include him on that kind of list. He defies lists. And then there's Haz, who's not even in the book, alright? There's Haz, who, with his Cannon Rush into double proxy Void Ray, gold-based recall builds, he doesn't even really play Protoss anymore. He plays something else entirely. Oh. Neeb. Losing his first probe to the drones, the Predator drones. And throwing a turtle in the chat! How appropriate. Neeb too slow to react. I didn't even know there was a turtle emote. Is there? Does that work? Turtle. Is it just turtle? It's I like turtles. But are we gonna have a Stargate? I like those almost as much. There's a turtle emote on Twitch too? Oh, the better Twitch TV. Who knew? But it is the Stargate. This is the bread, the butter, the entire meal of every Protoss and PvZ that isn't going for a Cannon Rush or a Proxy Gate. I have yet to see anyone at this level, at this stage, really breaking out anything else. Some players try the Archon drop, but it doesn't go well. Some players try the Adept Glaives, same result. But the Stargate, with the Chrono Boost, just seems to be the choice of nearly 100% of Protoss, and the most successful one statistically. Now, a lot of Lings will find these Adepts. They'll get the surround. They'll claw them up. It looks like one will be able to shade away. Will be chased down by 2 Lings. Will that be enough to finish it off? Neeb going to lose both Adepts early on. Nerchio with a good catch. There is no shield battery. He might be able to break through this. The shields are going down. He gets 2 Lings of surface area. Neeb is forced. Oh, can he shade pass? The incredible teleport. That play just saved so much of a headache there. Now he doesn't have to use the Oracle energy in order to drive back the Lings. It still gives him options on the other side of the map. If he had lost that Adept, it almost certainly would have forced him to use that Oracle energy to clear the Lings away. So nice little play there. Not going to make a huge difference, but I mean, not bad. The Twilight Council is the follow-up. Only 3 gates so far. We've seen a lot of Protosses going for the tech on 2 bases, so that by the time they're taking their 3rd, they have something to pressure a Zerg and keep them honest as they're going into lair tech. So what is it going to be? It's going to be Glaives, right? He's warping in Adepts here. Nothing but Glaives makes sense. A follow-up Glaives pressure after your opponent. They're forced to make Spores. They're teching up towards lair. They're going to go for Hydras and have Queens. The Glaved Adepts can take advantage of that, and most importantly, can secure the 3rd base, which is what Neeb is doing right now. Oh, getting into the main. 2 oracles combine to kill 4 drones, and both get out alive. Big win. Well, not big win. Oh, yeah, he's got this in the bag. US. Okay. No, 4 drones, pretty good. Didn't lose an oracle, pretty good. But overall, not a big deal. Nerchio making an interesting amount of lings here. He's actually going to pressure this third. This is risky business. If it works out, it could go great, but also it could really hinder Nerchio's economy going in to the later game. Gets a catch. The pylons are forced to wall off once again. The adepts found a good position, so a bit of a trade there. The worker count kind of tells the story with Neeb almost dead even with Nerchio. He's continuing to make these lings, looking for an opportunity, and Neeb is deflecting. Not easily, not free, but he's deflecting without significant losses. He still has 20 lings on the map. Now he has to have lings just to deal with a potential counterattack. If suddenly 7-8 adepts with glaives come across the map, well, guess what? No Zerglings is not going to cut it. 3 more drone kills. The Oracle's trading their HP for some drones. And here comes those adepts shading across. 9 in total. But Hydras are on the way. Muscular augments is not. The Hydra speed range is not. But just having the Hydras, the Queens, and a few lings to tank should be enough for Nerchio for now. Neeb, another uncharacteristic mistake. Losing that Oracle to a handful of Queens. Does he fight? No, he gets a beat on the Hydra count, the ling count. Neeb going to sit on the edge of the creep, play it safe, and not commit to something that's going to lead to losing all of the units he's trying to put pressure. The Adept shade forward. They'll get a bead. Will they continue? Yes, they will. He knows the Lynx had too good of a position. This Adept going for the spine. Another shade through. And Nerchio cleans up all the Adepts for only 3 drone losses. Maybe a few Lings in there. But a pretty big win there for your Polish Zerg. He's setting up defenses. Now the Hydras are coming across. He didn't go for muscular augments, remember. He's reliant on these Zerglings, and they don't have any upgrades either. Behind it, immediately the Lurker den. Nerchio is not on a booming economy, only 62 drones. Here come the Hydras across, just a handful. The shield batteries are not done yet. Nerchio chooses the fight. He should get the sentries before the shield. No. Nerchio throwing away most of his Lings in an ill-fated attempt to kill Glaive Adepts with Force Field. I'm not entirely sure what he meant to accomplish there, but he definitely didn't get it. Maybe 1 or 2 sentries for 30 Lings? I don't know about that. And that means Nerchio suddenly is forced onto the back foot while Neeb is tacking up. This is not what you want to be doing as a Zerg. You want to force them to warp in units on every cooldown. You want to force them into more gateways. You want to force them into defenses. But instead, Neeb, 30 Lings, and you're transitioning? Well, guess what? I'm taking a 4th, Extended Thermal Lance, Forge, Colossus, and a new car. No. Alright. Some more Adept shade out. At this point, he should be transitioning out of Adepts. He agrees. Blink on the way. Gonna go for the straight 2011 Death Ball. Blink Stalker Colossus is back in style. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Nerchio did drone up to 74. So he has the ability to tech up while making all these Lurkers, but making all these Lurkers is what he's up to now. 6 Lurkers. The Colossus in front. Does not have backup for now. The Force Fields, he sees the Lurkers coming in. The Adepts are under the Overlord, but they're in prime position to shade. There's a handful of Lings and a Spinecraft. If those Lurkers get into a decisive position on this third base, Neeb could be in some trouble. His shield batteries are vulnerable in the front. He can exchange some fire with the Colossi. Nerchio able to get in a good spot. The Adepts are cleaned up. The supplies tell a little bit of the story here. This third base is dropping fast. The spines are ripping through. And Neeb back down to 3 bases. Didn't quite expect the strength of the Lurkers moving forward. Oh, but Lurkers on either side. Neeb has to hold. His army is caught. He's targeting down the Lurkers as he can. GG. That's it. Neeb taps out. The Lurker flag is more than enough. So, awkwardly, that was... Now I can't just go out on the Neeb loss. So, this is a best of 7. And that was game 3. So... just for everyone. We're doing a best of 7 where I'm casting the 3rd game first because I'm a professional and I do professional things as always. So great. I was like, well, we're gonna do one good game and then I'll go lose my passion. But I'm inspired by Neeb losing as an American with unflinching and irrational patriotism. We do not go out with Neeb losing. I don't know how this series ends. It was cast on Base Trade TV in the beginning of January of whatever year you're in whatever is current year for you, if you're watching this at some further point. But we don't go out on Neeb losing. So, well, let us go back to game 1. On Odyssey. But we're gonna just do it backwards. So we know that if Nerchio wins these 2 games, it could be a 4-0. We'll find out. But from the Corsair Cup finals, I don't know if these are the actual finals or the set. Let me see. Oh, these are the full finals. This is the grand final hosted by Base Trade TV. If you want to steal replays like me, just subscribe on Twitch, and then you can use them as you see fit. Is this what I think it is out of Neeb to open things up? For probe drawn off to the side to dodge an overlord. Forge in production. 2nd probe coming across the map. Oh, Neeb. Does Nerchio have any vision? He dodges. Remember the vision of the hatchery. And Nerchio doesn't send his 2nd overlord to his hatchery for this exact reason. Some players do, some players don't. But some players like to live dangerously, and some players are Nerchio, because right now that pylon is finishing. It walls off this side. Oh, he needs to see this. This could be very quick. He has no idea at all. They're just gonna start firing. Does he let it finish, or does he target his own pilot? No, he lets it finish. So, Nerchio, you've just been cannon rushed. What's the response? The drone gets out with just enough HP. You could die to 1 hit from a drone. If no drones get out, he has no hope. Oh, no. Oh, the probe! He dodges the probe. Cancels the hatch. All right. And he's going to fight it out. Roach Warren is on the way. Neeb, of course, committed a ton of his early resources into a cannon. Well, a ton as in a significant portion, delaying his expansion, delaying his tech. Nerchio, of course, planned on having that hatchery. He no longer has that hatchery. So, can the Ravagers come across? This is obviously going to be Ravager. There's no speed. There's no lair on the way. He's going to make roaches. Neeb's going to see it. The queen comes out. He sees the double gas. He sees the queen. He sees the roach warren, and he sees what's up. So Nerchio immediately... No! He started it too quick. There's about a 1-second death cam on units. They still have vision even in the grave as the last light goes from their robotic eyes. The probe sees the lair start. Was that intentional out of Nerchio? Or was he just assuming... Oh, no. Like, if that was not intentional, that's a huge mistake. Now, there's still the whole mind game of... Is that... If I don't even know... Neeb might not even noticed. He might not... He just might have assumed a roach warren and then looked away and not looked back at the base because there's no more info to get. So, this is like a double, triple mind game here. Is that, did Nerchio do it on purpose? If so, did Neeb see it? Will Neeb react? Does Neeb believe Nerchio does it on purpose? all of this, and now there's a gold base, and he's depowered the cannons. There is a Nidus network on the way, but Neeb is patrolling the edge of his base. He'll have an idea this is coming, and Immortal is being chrono boosted out. The gold base may be another next level mind game, because he might be saying it was a fake lair. I'm really just macroing up. I'm taking all these bases. I'm just making a minimal amount of Ravagers. I'm not showing the roaches. Or it could not be a mind game, and it could actually just be him going for the lair, and the gold base is a decoy. We've parsed all the basic permutations. You can just keep going. But it does seem, just in general, Neeb has what it takes to defend. He's calling this bluff. He's going to see the lack of other expansions. He's going to double down, triple down, double down on shield batteries. The Nidus will pop, but cannons and shield batteries are already on the field. Another Immortal. No, not cannons. Immortal cannons, which are much scarier. Warp Gate finishes at the last second, though he only has one gateway. It just seems like Neeb has enough. The shield batteries. There's not enough damage in this Zerg army to overpower those shield batteries. The Immortals push through. Nerchio taps out. Neeb's Cannon Rush takes him off guard in Game 1. And that'll bring it to dead even, because we did Game 3 first, because I'm an idiot. But here's the beauty of base trade TV replays, and really replays in general, is you can just go into the next one. We don't have to wait for these nerds to go to the bathroom or drink the blood of their enemies or something like that, whatever I assume they do. Or if you're an American, stroke your bald ego and eat a large pack of French fries, freedom fries. But anyways, in the bottom right, from Poland, falling to the cannon rush, but fully capable of going the distance with Neeb, it is Nerchio from Euronics Gaming. On the other side, from Ting, from America, it is Neeb, the great foreigner hope. No, he's not alone in that this year. He sent the probe off of the pylon to maybe block the base. Of course, it did not. He's going to get a bead on the gas pool. Nerchio actually went for a 15 hatch, I believe, there. Which is specifically on this map to keep a probe off of pylon from blocking you. If you go for a 17 hatch, which is your customary option, then the probe gets there in time to block the hatch because of the rush distance. We're down to seconds here. We're talking a difference of 2 to 4 seconds. Maybe 5 or 6, depending on the exact timing, but that is the difference. And that is how important that is. Because having your hatch at the third is incredibly annoying, not to mention vulnerable. You don't have creep between the bases. Things like Adepts and Oracles, which are incredibly common in early game Protoss units already, become even more effective because they can exploit the lack of queens and the lack of movement and vision between the bases. Neeb losing so many probes today. Wow. Really summing it up there. How that feels. Nerchio always has a way with words. Well, words. But choosing the wall off on the left side, he can make another gate. In order to fully wall this off, we should be seeing a Stargate in just a moment. Neeb not going the cannon rush route here in Game 2 of the Corsair Cup Grand Finals Best of 7, hosted by Base Trade TV. Give me the Stargate, Neeb. It's time. You know it's time. I know it's time. We all know it's time. Does he wall off at the Stargate? See, I learn things too. These players are... You might be like, well, Winter... All you beautiful new or lower level players who maybe only started watching StarCraft with me for some reason, or have only been playing since free to play, you might be like, well, Winter, you're really good. You're Master 1. Sometimes Grand Master. You know, you can compete with these players. Maybe they'll win a lot, but you can compete. No. They are on a level to me compared to my level to you, essentially. In 20 games, if I took one off Neeb, that would be a dramatic event. In 40, it would still be incredibly unlikely. In maybe 69, I would be able to pick up one. Oh. Neeb a little bit slow on the Adept. That means the Lings get the surround. That's unfortunate. And more Lings on the way. Another Adept is shaded back. Nerchio getting some early damage done here. That's going to delay Warp Gate. This is already getting a little out of hand. Nerchio with the random Zerglings, but that can sometimes work out. Protoss builds can become incredibly predictable. And that means probes are going to fall on top of the delay to Warp Gate. He will be able to get a few. And delayed mining time, of course, is in the cards as well. But behind this Nerchio, drones, a handful more Lings just in case. But it's all drones. And he's got 3 bases. The Oracle was delayed. The Warp Gate was delayed. The gas mining was delayed. You get the idea. First Oracle is coming across. Neeb, if he could pick up some drones. Now the Spore isn't quite done. He might have a 3 or 4 second window here. If he can pick up 4 or 5 drones. Oh, nope. The second Queen pops just in time. He'll get 1 or 2 transferring. But that is not what he, well, needed. I'm hesitant to say that. I think it's a little misleading. At this point in the game, Nerchio has gained himself a small lead. But that lead can still be taken away by one late Spore Crawl. Or one miscontrolled attack on the third. Nerchio is making a lot of Lings, which means he wants to pressure the third. But this is a very difficult map with which to do so. Even though Neeb doesn't have glaives, he doesn't really have that many units at all. It's just the distance to get to this third base, alongside the way Neeb has set up his units, might mean that these Lings don't pay off at all, and they were a waste of money that could have been drones and got him later into the game. One sentry caught outside the force field. He'll just trap his Adept in instead. Somehow, Neeb is untouchable in his force field of safety. He will lose all of his sentries and his Adept. More Lings on the way. Nerchio is not done yet. There are only 3 gates. Well, 2 gates. He didn't even get a 3rd gate. He lost too many probes. There's no shield battery done yet. More force fields. The energy on the Oracles is quite low. They will force the Zerglings back for now, but only 2 gates. He's building an Immortal, even though it's terrible against Zerglings. Overlord speed is done. There is a Queen drop coming in at the same time. Will it unload in time? Yes, it will. Nerchio overrunning the third. Another Queen drop on the third as well. Nerchio all over the place. The Royal Assault. And it does look like the third is gone, if not much more than that. As the Queens and the Nat will be cleaned up. But now he's cut off, and Nerchio has gone up to 4 bases. GG, Neeb tabs out. That's 2-1. Why do I keep getting the ambient Protoss music? That is the worst music in the game. Alright, it's like, this is what Protoss listen to after they take LSD with their non-existent mouths and want to talk about the fall of Ire. But without getting too many people PTSD, post-traumatic swarm disorder. Anyways, I hope for the Terran music in this PvZ in the next match. As we're going into Game 4. Nerchio up 2-1. It looks like we're back to... I want to try to find a way to change it. Can I? We'll go to Brood War. There we go. That'll do. Yeah, get that Terran. That's the most important part of any good PvZ is Terran music. To really bring all the races together. Is that a gas first? Neeb, Neeb, Neeb. What is this? What is this, Neeb? This is a... So, I'm going to learn alongside you guys, but this I have not seen before. Neeb taking the gas before the gate. But he's not mining fully from it. He's maintaining full mineral saturation. I'm not sure exactly how this works out. It looks like he's still doing a gate expand. Oh, actually. This might be just slightly more efficient because you don't build a cyber core after the gate finishes with most gate expands like immediately after anyways. So Neeb might have figured out or might have learned from someone that if you just go for a gas, gate, nexus, and then your cyber core comes up, you have enough minerals for the cyber core right as your gate finishes. So the build is a little cleaner. Maybe you get a few more minerals. I think this is just a standard gate expand, not anything crazy. But somebody made it that much more efficient. Maybe 20, 30 minerals here or there. And he also didn't probe scout. So this is about... It's not greedy so much as incredibly... And he scouted for an Overlord, was what he was looking for. Just trying to get a beat on where the Overlord is going. Maybe on whether he would make a Stalker, because if the Overlord goes towards the main, I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here. I'm wondering why you did that. Why are you doing that? And I don't know for sure. We don't have Neeb on the phone right now to explain it. But it is going to end up being a Stargate. Maybe he did it the other two games, I just wasn't paying attention. Who knows? We'll look at the next one. But I accidentally canceled selection while I was trying to use that as a camera. Like a noob. Bronze League broadcaster. But for those just tuning in, this is the Corsair Cup Grand Finals for several thousands of dollars. Hosted by Base Trade TV. If you subscribe, you get the replays. And the score is currently 2-1 in favor of Nerchio. Though the American hero, Neeb, is known for his proficiency in Protoss versus Zerg, so we'll have to see. Of course, the only game that Neeb has won so far has been a Cannon Rush, so that doesn't necessarily bode well. We'll see. It's a best of 7. We still got several games at the very least. Well, at least a couple games. The Oracle coming in. Queen's in position despite the fact Spore Crawlers are a little bit late on the draw. Nerchio looking for every edge. Behind this we have what is a more standard Stargate opener. Oracle, Phoenix, and then there should be a secondary Oracle. That secondary Oracle is both to put pressure on drones and also allow him to take his third safely. So we'll have to see if he has that queued up after the Phoenix. Maybe after his third base starts, but Nerchio sneaks in, looking for a snipe on the probe. Neeb deflects. The Oracle actually used its beam, wasting that 25 energy, not really getting what he needed, but he did save the probe then. That's how figured out these builds are. Does he not make a second Oracle? I've been intrigued by Neeb's build since the start, but there's nothing about it that's super special. It's just the little details, the minutia. Those are fun words, right? That are really defining how he's playing this match. And Nerchio the same way. Nerchio with exactly how he positions his queens, when he makes his spore crawlers at each base. Because when you make a spore crawler, you have to kill a drone, essentially. It doesn't only cost the minerals, it also costs the drone mining forever. So you want to be as late on those spores as possible while still being safe. And that's the trade-off on either side.
Yes. Just as I deserve.
It's going to be better. It's going to be a while, though, after this series. And that's the last one for tonight, by the way. Just FYI. Last one for tonight. If anyone else does that, well, it'll be a while, at the very least. Even using the Revelation to get rid of creep spread, a pretty uncommon tactic. But, I mean, if you have the energy, why not? Nerchio has played this fully defensive. He hasn't put on that Ling pressure we've seen him put on in the other games in this series. He's gone up to 65 drones, a 4th base, lair, Hydra. Bit of a mistake there. His queen out of position. Assassinated by an oracle. Well, 2 oracles. It was a team effort. One of them may only get the kill, but the other definitely participated. And we're immediately going up to the Robo Bay. This is to counter Hydras with the Colossi, and they're incredible against light damage. Did he see the Hydralisk then? He doesn't really need to. Neeb doesn't. But he does. Well, he sees the Lurker Den if he was really looking there. Where is the Hydra? Oh. He knows. There are only a few options. It's not going to be 50 roaches coming out. And even if it was, Neeb still has the tools to potentially deal with that. He's got an Immortal. Oh, and he finds a nice opportunity to kill some drones off. Now, Nerchio's looking closer and closer to 80 as the total count. Brought a little bit lower, but that's not going to hurt too bad. At the same time, Lings come in. A little bit of hold position micro. 5 probes have gone down so far. He gets, oh, beautiful force fields. Hitting the only locations he could hit to actually wall those in, but 6 probes. Oh, another incredible force field. Neeb on point. But still. 79 drones, 4 bases, Lurker Den with a Spire follow-up. As he confirms the fact Colossi have joined the field. Therefore, he needs something to kill them. Lurkers can help, but in a good defensive position, they struggle to engage. He needs the Corruptors. I say Corruptors tentatively. Maybe Mutas. Probably not Mutas. But on occasion, you'll see the Mutalisk switch just full out. I don't think that's what Nerchio is doing here. We have an infestation pit. No infestation pit, so this is full lair tech, full high economy swarm Zerg. All he's looking to do is beat this army and then beat this army again. What I mean is he's looking to take a trade. He kills some Colossi. He wastes the energy on the sentries. He takes a fight. And then Nerchio, with his massive economy and his massive production, rebuilds the army he needs to kill Neeb's army before it regains the strength it originally had. A classic Zerg style, especially from Wings of Liberty when dealing with Colossi. Now, will he be able to get to that position before Neeb gains that strength? Nerchio has snuck along the left side. Neeb smells it. He's moving his army into position. There are just 2 Lurkers here. That's not a critical amount. More Lurkers in the front will try to defend. The 3rd base, that's a good angle for those Lurkers. 1 Immortal being caught out. And Neeb taps out. That's it. I can't help but think. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Neeb. Are you going to let Nerchio do this to you again? You have a 4th base done. Neeb. Neeb. This is not good for the American Protoss. I mean, this isn't a great engage. I don't feel... Does he lose the Colossi in the middle? He loses 1. I don't feel this is an unwinnable fight. He's got an Observer. He doesn't have charge. He has charge done in 2 seconds. This does feel... I'm going to be honest. This does feel to me like Neeb tapped out early. Yeah, Nerchio is going to be ahead after this, but I don't think Neeb dies here. He knows there are more Lurkers, but I don't think Neeb dies, so... That can't be a good feeling. Yeah, with charge done and Immortal finishing in this second, an Observer, only +1 attack and 2 Lurkers. Okay, well, I guess we're moving on. We're going to Game 5. Nerchio up 3-1. It wasn't over. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't over. But Neeb, of course, a better player than I. Maybe he just didn't want to play it out. He's preparing. Oh, God. And now, the ultimate equalizer. The battle on the Boardwalk. Oh, God. It's a best of 7. It had to pop up somewhere. Usually it pops up at the very end like these maps do when both players want to veto it. But in a best of 7, if we go the distance, well, it's only game 5. But here we are. As Neeb scouts off a pylon. Now, for those not initiated with Battle on the Boardwalk, it is different. It is special. And some might say in a good way, some might say not. Let's put it this way. It's the map that no one wants to play, but everybody wants to watch. Because of those reasons. There is a gold base, which is essentially walled off for both sides. There is this ridiculous choke point in the middle that is almost impossible to pass through if your opponent has any sort of defense. There is a long distance to run around the back. There's a weird expansion layout. So, love it or hate it, it definitely makes for some of the most entertaining games. Even if those players were not intending for it. No gas yet. A Nexus first at the gold out of Neeb. He's a gold digger. And he knows the only ways to get to that gold base are through the front, through these heavily armored rocks. Well, normally armored, but they have a lot of armor. Rocks outside here, or to drop. And by the time Nerchio could even hope to get something like a Ling drop in, Neeb could easily have a Stargate or just basic defenses. So a gold base first. A gold base, you can't get more money than, not realistically as a Protoss, you can't get more money than this. Cyber Core is on the way. Neeb got a full scout with that pylon first. That pylon first probe. That means he knows he will have a Zealot. Will he chrono boost it? Nerchio might get in just by a split second. But the probe can wall. He cancels another probe to get that. Oh! And he passes through. Magnifique. Neeb got it timed out to the split second. He canceled a probe, so that way he would have the money to get that pylon just in time. He holds on, and he's mining off of a gold base. Oh, that income. That tells the story. Jeez. Nerchio going for the third, but he's made... He didn't know that Neeb was expanding early until right now. He knows now. And he also equally knows that there's no way to pressure it, so he's forced to expand. Rocks on the way. He knows the gold base has been taken. Neeb obviously hasn't expanded anywhere else, and you don't start off with a Zealot if you didn't expand. And Adept comes in. Almost gets baited into Nerchio's Lings with that reduced vision, but Nerchio is spiraling upwards in economy, but Neeb is at 40 probes. Once again, I'm going to bring this one up. There's quite a discrepancy. So can Nerchio put together his tech? Will he go for a lair? Or are we just looking at a full wing bang game? The Oracle shows up. Fortunately, Nerchio's queens are in position to deflect it before the Spore Crawlers come up. Neeb is walling off the third. As Warp Gate is finishing, the rocks are just about to come down, but right as Warp Gate finishes, Neeb is going to be able to warp in. Almost almost the most fortuitous possible timing, Nerchio finds his way through. And just as Neeb opens up his warp gates, the Zerglings will show themselves at the third base and allow him to warp in just what he needs. Everything going right for your American Protoss, and everything, well, the other direction for your Polish Zerg. Besides the fact he's up 3-1. Neeb taking the third. Absolutely no damage done to him so far. Just completely free to do whatever he wants. Nerchio unable to really find any angles for damage. He does have 60 drones now, but he does not have a lair. All of this came at the cost of mining gas. We need to make sure he had the minerals, and roaches over time just won't cut it. He doesn't have a roach timing. He's not going to bring the roaches down to the south and try to pressure the gold base. The gold base is already half mined out by this point. This is purely defensive. He's trying to hold on to what he has, but a warp prism in the back. There are so many things on Battle on the Boardwalk. As a Zerg player, there's just so many things to be worried about. The warp prism comes across. The gate count. He's working towards the Archons. Neeb could wall off the Boardwalk with a single pylon, but he doesn't mind if Nerchio gets a little scouting. This Overlord kill will actually supply block Nerchio. A bit of a mistake there as well. An Archon drop coming in when there are only Zerglings truly to defend. The Oracles both badly bruised, but not beaten in the back of the base. Another warping. Neeb has plenty of money. Charge is seconds away from completion. He does not have +1, is maybe Nerchio's only saving grace. But a lair just finished. Oh no. Here they come. Neeb just... There's a lot of roaches. The Archons melt the Zerglings, and the charge lots rip through them as well. If Neeb gets one more warp in, the roaches not holding as well as they could or as well as they need to. Even the Oracle's getting into the fray, helping out. He picks up the Archon for a little bit of micro, but it will cost him the Prism. But it also will cost Nerchio both of his queens without even killing the Oracles. The Archons, we've got 8 kills, got 12. Another queen goes down. Those Archons refuse to die. The power is incredibly overwhelming. And Neeb at the same time with another Warp Prism. I wasn't paying any attention. It doesn't look like either was Nerchio. He's forced to retreat from his base. The net is gone. The charge lots continue to stream in. All of his drones retreat to the third. Well, all of the drones from the net. The base goes down. Neeb continues to pour in charge lots. This charge never ends. It's like fucking overage charges on Comcast. More Archons being warped in for support. The Archon drop, essentially untouchable with all the queens assassinated. Literally all the queens, I wasn't sure, but they're all gone. And Neeb still comfortably. He's building Immortals in the back, 2 more Robos at the front. It might not end now, but it's heading that direction very quickly. The worker count still 68 to 68, but the tech has been gutted. He lost a Hydralisk Den. Well, no, I didn't. No, he didn't. It's right there. His Roach Warren is bleeding out. His Natural is gone. And Neeb is building the army to finish the job. Archons. +1 is on the way. 3 Immortals at a time. He's signing his death warrant in triplicate. There is no beating these Immortals. Not in these numbers. Not at this time. Not with this economy or with this tech. Neeb, I think. Maybe another warping or 2. And then it's time to go across the map and finish the job. Does he actually go for Storm and wait it out? Or does he just finish him? What's the play here, Neeb? It's really dealer's choice. The supply, well, when a Protoss is building these units and they're ahead on supply and on bases, this is not a close game. Nerchio is essentially waiting to die, and the only chance he has is if Neeb somehow screws up his execution. my god. 7 Immortals. He's gonna have Archons. He's going on +2/+1. He's got everything and then some. Double Forge, triple Robo, Warp Prism already on the map. Neeb will get a beat on the army, realize he can move into the main. There's only a handful of units here, not nearly enough. And move to engage what Nerchio does have. If this Warp Prism gets picked off, that's the beginning of something. Muscular Augment's not done, doesn't give him the range. The charge lots are in the main. Hydra's forced to retreat. He committed a lot of units down here to the south, which means the charge lots in the main doing the damage. Nerchio microing back. This base is getting blasted down. Those cannon shells sink as Nerchio unable to withstand the stopping power of Immortal, Archon, charge lot. Absolutely no contest here as Neeb blasts through triumphantly on battle on the boardwalk. Nerchio not happy about the situation. Neeb gonna put another point on the board. We're going to game number 6. Of course, that was battle on the boardwalk. Neeb played it as perfectly as could be expected out of Neeb. And with that, as we go on to the catalyst, will it catalyze a victory for Nerchio or a nearly full comeback for Neeb? But I'll be right back as we get into Game 6 of the Corsair Cup Finals, hosted by Base Trade TV. Replays from Base Trade TV. If you want the same ones, all you have to do is subscribe. If you subscribe to me, get this. I get more money. Make the difference today. I'll be right back. One moment. Thank you for watching. All right. Are you ready for the final match or the final 2? All right. Welcome back. In the top left, from Euronics Gaming from Poland, Nerchio. The bottom right. Representing Ting Esports and America. Neeb. I am definitely biased. I am not hiding that. You guys may have noticed I'm not Polish. I am sorry. But Neeb down 3-2. As we see Nerchio just keeping his hands warm. Neeb keeping his hands cool to kick the matches off. The match. Our game 6 in this best of 7 match. Now, Nerchio keeping his Overlord back on his natural. He ain't fucking with cannons anymore. Neeb on the other side. Gate expand. Everything's shaping up as it usually does. A little bit of mineral micro there to try to bounce some drones off the patches. I do not recommend you ever try to do that until you've ever played someone like Neeb on the ladder. You're gonna screw it up. We've seen 2 probes die in mineral lines. He's trying to bait out a third. If he loses a third, 3 for 3. Nerchio not taking the bait. The little mind games, the little micro. And everything's shaping up. We're going to see a Stargate for probably the 5th out of 6 games. And the only reason we didn't see it in Game 1 is because Neeb successfully cannon rushed, and all he had to do was hold it all in with a robo. The Adept chronoed out. The Overlord in position. If that's a Stalker, he can move to this high ground and be safe. If it's an Adept, he can see it. Actually moving a little quick, but he has to assume it's always an Adept. Alright. And it's almost always a Stark. Neeb once again taking to the stars. Nerchio taking to the 3rd. Ling's trying to slip by on the left side. If Neeb does not chrono this Adept, it shouldn't be quite out in time in order to block these Zerglings. So, intentional block here out of Nerchio. Is there a second Queen on the way? He has nothing else to block this shade. Oh, wait a second. Is Neeb that good? And are the timings that crisp? But he sends out his second Adept. Nerchio hides his Lings. He will deflect the first Adept. No kills so far. The shade away, and Nerchio gets in. Nerchio with 4 Lings on a pylon. He saw the exact timing that second Adept came out of here. He's gonna get the pylon, powering Warp Gate, and another Adept before it No, it finishes at the last second. Neeb saves it. Without that Adept, this gets a lot dicier to be able to hold and minimize probe losses. This is not a game-ending mistake or a game-winning move, but it's a win for Nerchio. It's a mental win, too, that you just got played that hard. And he did get played. Here comes Nerchio across the map. The gates will be repowered. There are only 2 Adepts at the front, but the Oracle comes out. It will be used to assist the front. Nerchio really hitting the Z button very heavily. Shield batteries will complete the wall. He made just enough Zerglings for Neeb to pull the parachute here. He made enough Lings for Neeb to be scared. But will Neeb call his bluff? He makes 1 shield battery. You gotta make 1. But he will cancel the full wall. He has his suspicions that Nerchio might not be fully committed to this Zergling play. So the mind games are in full effect here. Nerchio makes enough Lings at a quick timing that Neeb thinks, oh, maybe this is all in. But then Neeb, after thinking for a second and a tiny bit of scouting, sees the drones transferring to a 3rd, cancels both shield batteries. So Nerchio not quite getting what he wanted. Getting in early was good, but committing to those Zerglings while trying to drone up didn't quite pan out. Neeb will still be able to get his 3rd base in a timely manner. He won't feel pressured. He still has a healthy probe count, and will be able to pressure before lair tech potentially. 3 more Adepts warped in. Glaives are on the way. The Chrono Boost being utilized. He has some more. 6 Adepts coming out. To lose these before Glaives completes would be a pretty large mistake out of Neeb. But of course, killing Zerglings is always nice. He shades in. This has to be canceled. Another shade. This is just keeping him honest. The Oracles remain at the 3rd. He can keep the Oracles here to defend and send the Adepts out to attack. And Nerchio, with the Lings on the other side of the map, he might be able to kill some of these probes, but most of... all of the Zerglings will die. Glaives just completed. The drones are vulnerable. Nerchio reaching out for a 4th base. That's a bold move. No Hydras, just Queens. If Neeb had shaded on that, he might have gotten all the kills. But this base will be his choice. The Lings are coming out. The Glaive Adepts are just ripping through them. Just shredding them. These Glaives are resonating with the Zerg players everywhere in how they hate dealing with this. Nerchio taps out. We're going to the rubber match. Neeb comes back to make it 3-3. Nerchio tried to play a little bit of a mind game, tried to catch Neeb off guard. He did a little bit, but Neeb 100% called his bluff and capitalized on it. So 3-3. As we go into the final match of the Corsair Cup Grand Finals Best of 7. Hosted and casted by Base Trade TV and relived by yours truly. It is in the bottom right, being up 3 games to 1 and now being even. It's Nerchio from Euronics Gaming. On the other side, representing Ting, Neeb. Nerchio adjusts his Overlord. He's decided he's not going to remain vulnerable to cannon rushes. Gateway is dropped, as is a hatchery. Nothing special here so far. Neeb, just a little bit of a history for those of you who don't know, Neeb has not just cropped up in the last year, or maybe last 2 years is more accurate, as such a dominant player. Neeb has been around for many years, maybe half a decade, since 2012, 2013, Heart of the Swarm. So, take this as you may, but why didn't you hear of Neeb? Why wasn't Neeb winning tournaments back in Heart of the Swarm? Why did he only really break out in Legacy of the Void? Well, back in Heart of the Swarm, and back in Wings of Liberty, Neeb played Terran. In Legacy of the Void, when the beta released, he switched to Protoss. Neeb getting close, sometimes qualifying for what was then round of 64 WCS, being in the top 50 or so players on North America, but never really breaking out. But as the beta for Legacy of the Void, his full racial transition into Protoss was a resounding and continues to be resonating success. And now we're here. 3-3 with Nerchio, possibly the most accomplished player outside of Korea ever, at the very least since Stefano, and if you want to do that, since Polt. And he's challenging Nerchio for a few $1,000 more here. And once again, for every game he hasn't cannon rushed, we have the Stargate. Stalker comes out. Is it actually in position to take out this Overlord? There are Lings slipping by. Neeb being very safe with his Adept. Nerchio not really allowed to make drones here. He's down to 23. He committed to a lot of Lings early. 12 Lings early. So he needs something with this. And he will get in before the first Oracle. And that's something. It's not a lot, but it's something. 6 Lings are not that scary. He gets the Adept in the middle of the map. But he needs to do damage. He doesn't... He didn't have the drones early. Like, he committed to these Lings. He needs to do damage. But... Two probes. An Adept. Maybe forces the wall off a little bit quicker. I don't know. Nerchio delaying his drones for that long can have just reverberating effects as time goes on when it comes to momentum, because Neeb is just so good at finding those timings when Zerg seems like they're almost ready to go. They got enough drones, they got enough production, they got the tech, but then Neeb comes in with 2 Archons, a Warp Prism, and 9 charge lots 20 seconds before Hydra speed range finishes. Or he drops his 3rd base and barely defends against the Zerglings, and then suddenly has 65 probes and is making Immortals against a Zerg who has 58 drones. These are very specific scenarios, but they're very common when you're talking about Neeb. And right now, we do not have a lair. We do have a Baneling Nest. But he's not making Lings, so this Baneling Nest is implied to be defensive alongside the Zerg melee attacks upgrade. For his Zerglings and Banelings, these are all defensive tools, and now the lair. Right now, Nerchio just has to make the Baneling Nest. He has to make the Lings, because he doesn't know if Adepts are going to come across the map. He doesn't know if Neeb has the back base or not. If he's making 6 more gateways. Well, this tells a story. As Nerchio is droning very hard now. He's not going to have the lair done. He's not going to have lair tech kicking in for this. This is all timed out with the War Prism. It's a sentry push. Without Hydras, without Banelings already prepared, without maybe like Baneling drops, the lair is at the 3rd. The Hydra done is started. +1 is not done. Nerchio is just now about to know about this. He made some Zerglings, but 6 more Stalkers are warped in. There are no units. He just doesn't... That's not enough Lings. There are still 2 Oracles to add in as well. He doesn't have detection, so he will be on creep. But there's plenty of energy for Force Field. Without +1 done, catching the sentries would be big. Good wins for Nerchio so far, but good Force Fields. He uses the Oracle energy. Some good micro back as well. Neeb needs another Warpin. 7 more Stalkers on the way. +1 is not quite done yet. No more Force Fields. It's just Speedlings on Stalkers, and they don't fare... Well, they fare actually pretty well. But the Stalker count... The Queens are just holding the line. Oh, they get the Warp Prism. GG! It's all over. Nerchio takes it. 4-3. It looked... I was all behind Neeb. 100% biased, but Nerchio just shut that down. And that's it. GG. 4-3. Neeb tabs out. There's a distance between us. He got the prism. He got everything he needed. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you. Yeah, you can't lose the sentries. Nerchio handled that perfectly. I know my limits. You can break me down, but I'll stay till the that was the Corsair Cup Grand Finals. We'll do